Yeshua had a controversy with these people also, talking about being sons of Abraham. And he pointed out that at least through faith, they were sons of their father, the devil. And he was talking to, I think, the Pharisees at the time when he said this. But they weren't literally sons of the devil. This is a metaphor. It's kind of like saying we're sons of Abraham. We're not literally children of Abraham. I mean, some of us may be, but we are made children of Abraham by faith. And so by a lack of faith, some are made children of Satan. Not literally, of course, but because they lack faith. They are counted as part of his house instead of part of Abraham's house. But that doesn't mean that they are no longer counted as Israelites. Not necessarily. I mean, Paul was among the worst. He was a murderer. He persecuted the church. He persecuted the followers of Yeshua. But God still counted him as an Israelite. And then when he repented, God made him a teacher of the very people that he was trying to persecute before. And I want to jump forward to, I think it's Romans 11. I say then, God has not rejected his people, has he? May it never be, for I too am an Israelite, a descendant of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. God has not rejected his people whom he foreknew. Or do you not know that the scripture says in the passage about Elijah how he pleads with God against Israel? Lord, they have killed your prophets, they have torn down your altars, and I alone am left. They are seeking my life. But what is the divine response to him? I have kept for myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to Baal. In the same way, then, there has also come to be at the present time a remnant to God's gracious choice. This remnant these are natural descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Or at least they are, this is another conversation we had last week. This is complicated by the existence of the mixed multitude who was grafted into Israel at the time of the Exodus. These were Egyptians and, all kinds of other people who lived in Egypt, who came out of Egypt with the Hebrews when God redeemed them. And in the wilderness at Sinai, God divided up the camp into all the tribes and arranged them around the tabernacle. And there was no camp for the foreigner. There was no camp for the sojourner. They were all sojourners because they all lived in temporary dwellings in the wilderness without any inherited land. All of those people who were faithful to God, no matter who their parents were counted as descendants of Jacob. And we see the same thing in Ezekiel 47, which we also read last week, talking about at the end times, when God restores Israel to the land, he divides up the land again, and then he says, and all of these foreigners who are sojourning among you, whatever tribe they're living in, you will give them an inheritance in the land among that tribe, and they will be counted as the natural-born sons of Israel. So God takes foreigners periodically, and he grafts them into Israel. The cross wasn't the first time this happened with Paul evangelizing the Roman Empire. It happened at the Exodus from Egypt. It happened when they invaded Canaan, and they adopted people like Rahab and the Gibeonites. Now, the Gibeonites did it by fraud, but eventually they were absorbed into Israel. So the people that Paul is talking about in Romans 11, these are the descendants of the natural children of Jacob and all of those who are grafted in and counted as natural children. So as far as we're concerned, they are the natural descendants of Jacob.